everyone. Good morning. Next slide, please. Hello, and welcome to today's webinar on Pause, Breathe, Move, Self-Care for Healthcare Providers. And this is our first session, which is Pause. Next slide, please. So this webinar is sponsored by the Northeast and Caribbean Mental Health Technology Transfer Center, or MHTTC, housed at Rutgers in the School of Health Professions in the Department of Psychiatric Rehabilitation and Counseling Professions. My name is Kathy. I'm the project coordinator of this center. We'll be facilitating the webinar today. Next slide, please. The MHTTC is funded by SAMHSA, the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, to enhance the capacity of the behavioral health and other related workforces to deliver evidence-based and empirically supported practices to individuals with mental illnesses. Please visit the MHTTC Network website for additional information at mhttcnetwork.org. Next slide, please. And if you're interested in staying up to date with the events and products the Northeast and Caribbean MHTTC is providing, please sign up to receive our email communications. You can sign up at the bit.ly link provided on the screen. Next slide, please. Following the webinar, you'll be asked to complete a brief survey. We value this feedback and use it to improve our activities and inform future activities. The surveys are also important because our continued funding is linked to the completion of these surveys. So we thank you in advance for your feedback. Slide. I also want to let you know that this webinar is being recorded and will be posted to our website along with the PowerPoint slides in the next couple of days. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. We encourage you to interact with our presenters during the webinar by using the chat feature. Please post any comments or questions you have in the chat, and I will collect your questions as we go and ask them of the presenter during the Q&A time towards the end of the presentation. During the webinar, our presenter may pose questions to you, so please use the chat feature to answer those questions. Next slide, please. So now let's begin our webinar. We have today Dr. Michelle Zechner, Assistant Professor at the School of Health Professions here at Rutgers in the Department of Psychiatric Rehabilitation and Counseling Professions. And we also have Dr. Peggy Swarbrick, Associate Director of the Center of Alcohol and Substance Use Studies and a research professor in the Graduate School of Applied and Professional Psychology and the Collaborative Support Programs of New Jersey. Welcome, and I will turn it over to our presenters.
Welcome, everyone. This is Peggy Swarbrick, and I'm joined by Michelle. Michelle, do you want to say a quick hi? Yeah, we're here today. Yeah, Michelle.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Yeah, we're here today to just really want to thank you to be joining us today to really help focus in on your self-care skills. And we really want to congratulate you for taking the time today to be with us. We know everybody's quite busy and is dealing with so many different challenges in your work and in your life and that whole work-life balance. So this is a first in a part of a series to take a little bit of a time. And today being here to kind of think about what you can do. And today we're going to start out with a few strategies today, and each time we'll talk about the next couple of weeks, we'll be going through a series. But really today, we're going to really focus on how to hit the pause button. And so we're going to go over defining pause, identifying how you can snatch just a few seconds from the day to bring this into your practice, focus in on a specific practice that really works, as well as really think about the physical sensations that you can become attuned to, and really hopefully come away with just a benefit of this and the opportunity to try to practice it. So we will join us in practicing it. join us in some of the chats we'll have. We're really here to try to get a real understanding of this and put it into practice. So taking a self-care break, we have a lunch break. I just saw we can take exercise breaks today. I just saw something else. We'll talk a little bit about that in a couple of ways, but just a few minutes or a few seconds, just as though we put the pause again on our phone or whatever it is, you know, it really can, taking those little bits of time for just a few minutes can really help. I know myself for my mood, my anxiety, and that stress, that just feeling a lot. And myself, it helps a lot, just these small little pieces. I never thought just a small amount. Today, we're going to look at that pause, putting our pause pen, and how do we shift it in between the many, many tasks we have today. And again, many of us have used these and have just felt the benefits, but it's about practice. So hopefully you'll be able to see how paying attention to this, doing this, probably things you do already, can help you. And again, it's when you take that time to just stop putting it on. We do it all the time with our technology, but how can we do it, that unplugging for ourselves, and start to noticing what's around us, and then really start to check in on what's happening in our mind, in our body. It can make a big difference. It gets us off that treadmill that many of us are on during the day. It helps myself, again, and my colleagues and my people I support to use this in many kind of facets of their work to really help gain that control and be focused in on and attuned to what's going on inside and in our thoughts. And it's just doing it simply and then moving back into our day with awareness. So you don't need a lot of time, you don't need really equipment. And again, many people have found that these strategies are really helpful to bring in to the day-to-day routines. And we have used these a lot with all kinds of individuals like yourself, doing things in healthcare, doing things in education, doing many of the tasks on the front line, particularly in the last year, caregivers. These strategies have really helped. And what we find for people who have used them, these small practices, it just can help that little bit of a relaxation. Even if it's just a small amount, people report some benefits. People have reported that it's really helped them become aware of how they're feeling, and most important, what we need. Like right now, what do I need? And help us to think about that. Also, myself, this is a big one, not to react too quickly to the situation, because sometimes, you know, you send the email, you say that thing or whatever it is. When you pause and breathe and you can do this, it often helps us to not either respond or to respond in a way that's going to be helpful for ourselves and the other people we're around. And because we become aware maybe of how the other person feels, and our response can be a little different to help the communication better. And again, the big piece we find is that it just really helps us to have that kindness and caring towards ourselves, which is so important, that will come out of us and affect other people in our lives. So we definitely want to hear from you, and Michelle's going to go into a little more detail and really practice right now, but we want to hear in the chat. Michelle?
So we're curious, how do you think that pausing can help you? So if you turn to your chat, just type in how pausing can help you. I know, go ahead.
Refocus, regroup and refocus. Don't react to situations so quickly. Gives that awareness and patience. Mental clarity and relax. Gains that breath control. Help me stay kind with my family, making better decisions. So Michelle, this really seems like a lot of the benefits people are identifying that we've seen in a lot of the people that we've worked with on.
Yeah, thank you everyone so much for thinking about that. It is really important that we think about why taking a pause could help us. Very nice. Next slide, please. So now we're going to focus on this simple self-care strategy called pause. We're going to review some of the benefits and invite you to practice with us. So this is an experiential type of seminar, and we're going to, each of the one of the series, we're going to have a practice portion of the seminar. So we're not talking at you, we're inviting you to participate with us as much as you can. Taking breaks during the day, even a few seconds at a time, is the first step in connecting with and caring for yourself. We call this practice pause. When you pause, you're practicing being in the present moment without judging what should or should not be happening. You slow down enough to notice what's going on. A pause can help you regain a sense of control, as many of you have said in the chat, and reduce your stress level. Pausing means being fully aware of the present moment without judging what should or should not be happening. As a healthcare provider or educator, you may find yourself in the middle of a situation that you don't like, but you can't change. You may feel trapped and angry. Even in the midst of these difficult feelings like anger about the situation, you could choose on purpose to pause and pay attention to the present moment with greater awareness. Pausing and being aware of the situation and your response to it can help break the cycle of frustration and anger. This may sound difficult, and it may be challenging at first, but with practice, it becomes easier and more natural. Over time, practicing pause can help you spend less time feeling annoyed. I know that's been my experience with taking a pause. You may find you are more loving and forgiving of yourself. The moment of pause lets you choose responses that make you feel more comfortable. And as an added benefit, the person you're working with or helping may stay calmer also. When we stop and observe our interactions with others, and when we stop and observe our interactions with ourselves, it gives us space to be non-judgmental. A brief pause helps you accept the person you're working with or helping for who they are and where they are in their life journey. To pause, you simply stop. Stop what you're doing, and harder for me is stop what you're thinking. Stop before you react to the situation. Check in with how you're feeling in your body. Concentrate on your senses. Notice what you see, hear, smell, taste, or touch. Feel your feelings. Are you angry, frustrated, sad? Do you feel guilty or helpless? You don't have to do anything with those feelings. Just say hello to them and allow them to be. Next, we'll practice a pause together. We'll use a 3-step process of check-in, focus, and proceed back to your day. This activity takes 1 to 3 minutes, and there are 3 steps to the activity. First, to check in, where you sit quietly, staying upright and awake through the practice. Relax. If you'd like, you could try closing your eyes or letting your gaze soften. Become aware of the feelings in your body. What do you feel? Notice what it's like to sit. Pay attention to your clothes and how they feel on your skin. Feel your muscles and joints from the inside of your body. You don't need to change anything, just become aware. Next, focus on the breath. Now, become aware of your breathing. Notice the sensations of your breath coming in and going out. You don't need to change your breath at all. Just be aware of breathing. Make your breath the focus of your attention. Your mind may wander, that's fine. When you notice you're thinking or worrying, just shift your focus back to your breathing. Some people like to say something to themselves as they breathe in or breathe out, like calm or peace, or breathing in, I know that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know that I'm breathing out. And third, proceed with awareness. Before you end your short pause, refocus on how your body feels. Notice your body as a whole. Have any sensations changed? Don't worry about what you're thinking or if you're doing this correctly. And lastly, be sure to thank yourself for making time to pause. As you move back into your daily activities, take some of your fresh awareness and your appreciation with you. The next time you find yourself getting angry or upset with others, try a pause and notice how you feel. Notice how different it is to provide support when you take time to be really aware of this moment. Next slide, please. And you may notice the physical sensations as a relaxation, as tingling, or any number of different sensations, but focus on your body. Next slide, please. Self-care includes a regular practice of pausing and being aware in the moment. This practice will help you gradually become more aware of a space where you can choose how to focus your attention, leading to less distress and a greater sense of ease and well-being right now. Many people who pause and take time to be more aware say that it improves their relationships with the people they support and their coworkers. So if you turn to the chat for a moment, and we invite you to say, what was that like for you? How was the experience of taking a pause for you?
Feels great. Feeling of peace. I felt relaxed and centered. I like the I am statements. Yeah, great. Having have to take more time to pause. Interesting how the effects come even in a short practice. Peaceful. Yet very calming. Reminder, I need to do this more. It was good to stop and just take a minute to focus. I just typically jump in and start working.
Thank you, everyone, for your comments. And I think you're already helping us think about when we can use a pause and how even a moment to breathe really makes a difference. It really makes a difference. I know that we're all under a lot of stress and pressure in the moment. And just taking 30 seconds to take a breath and notice your surroundings and move on with your day can really make a difference for yourself. And you're worth it. We're all worth it. Peggy, next slide, please. You can use the pause throughout the day. The strategy really doesn't take much time. You could do it between tasks, before you get out of your car, when you are moving from one task to another, or any time in the morning, afternoon, or evening. I particularly like using it at my lunchtime, sitting at my desk. There were a lot of people who noticed how peaceful that this activity is. And I think even relaxed, and how those effects come with just a few seconds of taking a pause. I really appreciate all of you doing the practice with us. And someone just posted that it's a great alternative to a morning commute.
I love it. I love that. Yes.
Absolutely. It definitely is Also much better than my morning commute.
Yeah.
And it's also a great, we all work with people in some capacity, whether it's your family, whether it's students, or whether it's patients or clients, whatever label you give people that you work with. Really taking a moment to take a breath before you walk in to be with that person, to help the person, or take a breath when you start to feel the frustration come in, can really be a useful technique. And any time of the day, much better than a commute. Next slide, please. There's great value in pausing for a moment, noticing what's around you and checking in with yourself. You can pause at any time, including during transitions throughout your day, like in this quote from Brother David Steindl Rast. Try pausing right before and right after undertaking a new action. Even something simple like putting a key in a lock to open the door. I've also heard people say that you can use certain prompts that, for example, when someone's driving, anytime they see a red light, they take a moment to take a breath. It's a reminder to pause. Or before you open a new email, you might take a breath and pause. Such pauses take a brief moment, yet they have the effect of decompressing time and centering you. We'd like to finish this practice with a pause. Sit for a moment. Pause. Notice what's around you. Check in with yourself now. How do you feel? As you proceed with your day, take your awareness of your breath, body, and mind with you.
So we encourage you to think about when and where you can pause during your day. And what we found doing this for with lots of different people like yourselves who have, like I said, really busy schedules, very in different situations where, many of you highlighted, the more you practice this, just figuring out the when and where, it gets easier and you start to see some of the profound benefits of even a small amount of time. So thinking about how and when in the next couple week you can take that pause, and think also about, because we work with family and friends and colleagues, how you can support each other in these practices, because that's a really big piece we see. The more people are doing this together. And we'd love to hear in your chat, your thoughts about this, when you might, someone's saying it's counterproductive to set a timer for to do that, right? So you want to think about it in your thoughts and then help it to happen. But thinking about it, whether a timer, like you say, can be a challenge, put a bit of take away the real benefit, but you think for yourself. We've found that asking people to think ahead when and how can be very, very effective. And we'd like to see that in the chat when you're thinking. And what we want to highlight for you is that this material is part of a series that you can access here. If you'd like to, we'd invite you to be joining us in the series on this. We have a number of our colleagues that will be joining us to go over the breathe, the move, the nourish the body, and then putting it together, pause, breathe, move for sleep, which we found for many people have found really helpful. These will be the next series over the next weeks, these short times from in the morning at 8:30. So, but if you'd like to find the resources where some of this comes from, you can find the books here. They're downloadable, and there's also a video. So we want to thank you and want to see if there's any questions or thoughts that we have for the day that we'd like to hear in the chat, what was helpful for you or anything else. The question about the slides being, the recording will be available, the slide materials will be available. Kathy will mention about that again. So someone mentioned it's been very hard to do it lately, did it in the past, but today showed the idea to get back to it. Kathy's sent in the survey. You want to, Michelle, do you want to make any closing reminder? A lot of comments are saying this is the great reminder, a good reminder, which again, that's you all, I think many of you know these things already. It's just helping to take that time, and we congratulate you and thank you for being with us this morning to share in this practice and share in this reminder. Michelle.
Yeah, thank you. But Peggy, this is just such wonderful material. And I think several people are pointing out that they've taken some time to be reflective, whether it's meditation or prayer or time in nature, just a few moments. And I think, I don't know about you all, but I often set myself up for failure because I say, if I don't do it right, I won't do it. The pause technique is really lovely because you can do it in 10 seconds. You could do it in 5 minutes, whatever time you have available. If you intentionally set aside some moments to be with yourself and remember to breathe and be in the moment, that can really help you to detach from some of the stressful events that are going on around you. So you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to go sit in the woods for 5 hours. You don't have to pray. You don't have to, you could, I mean, do what feels right, of course, to you, but it's important to remember that just taking a few breaths and a pause will give you some benefit. Oh, there's an interesting question about balancing the pause with employees or employers. Yeah, Peggy, do you want to address that or?
Yeah, we've been really we have done this work and have trying to bring it to the culture with administrators, different levels of people, and trying to build it into the culture. So it's something, if you'd like some more information about that, we'd be happy to share with you. And we also will be following up this series with a resource that could help you in that process. Michelle and I will be doing something right after the end of this 5-part series that will be able to help you then perhaps do this in your work. And we're going to be providing a resource for you. So stay tuned for that.
Yes, absolutely. If you're interested in bringing this to your workplace, be on the lookout, because Peggy and I will be doing something this summer where we're promoting that. And I mean, it's just a great point about how to build it into your culture. That's exactly the kind of thing that Peggy and I will be talking about over the summer. So be on the lookout for being part of a training and consultation series that is coming up. And we'll have an implementation manual, I believe, right, Peg?
Yes, the manual and some resources for you to do this.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't know, but I would think that most employers would be grateful if if their employees take a breath before the next interaction with, whatever situation that you're in, or, take a moment at your lunch hour to go to your car and take a breath if you can, or even to step outside, anything where you can. And if you're unable to move, to leave physically, just take that moment to sit down and take a breath, even in a difficult situation. It's true. Not many people take a lunch hour. I said that, but I meant a 15-minute break probably while you're standing.
Your 5-minute gobbling the sandwich or granola bar.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Peggy and Michelle. This was a wonderful kickstart to our day and to our series, and we hope all of our attendees will also join us. I will follow up with everyone with our survey link in case you missed it, as well as the slides and recording in the next couple of days. It takes a while for us to post it to our website, so appreciate your patience. So if there are no more questions, I think we are at the top of the hour. And again, we really thank you and for your participation. Thank you, Michelle and Peggy. I personally enjoyed this myself. It's always good to take a pause.
Thanks, everyone. Keep breathing.
Thank you.